Hey guys, I finally got my hands on a Naked Smoky palette by Urban Decay. So this is what I'm going to be using in this tutorial. So I've clipped up my hair first to get it out of the way, and just so you can see, I have got a top on, it's just a strapless one, and I've started with my brows already done, and I've got a tutorial on that, so I'll link it down below. And I'm just starting off with my Soft Ochre Paint Pot by MAC, just as a base for my eyeshadows so that they don't crease, and I've got something to stick to. Then I'm taking the eyeshadow Brule, I think it is, by MAC, and this is just a base colour. I'm just sweeping this all over the eye so that whatever I put over the top of it blends really nicely and easily over that. And then I'm taking Saddle by MAC, and this is going to be my transitional blending shade. And this is just going through the crease and a bit above it. So this is what all the other eyeshadows are going to blend into. So it's kind of like a background colour. And I'm just going to keep building this up until I get the intensity that I want and blending it out. And as you can see, I'm really winging out that eyeshadow and extending it and kind of taking it out past my eye towards the end of my brow. And then I'm taking my Naked Smoky palette and taking the shade Whiskey, which is a really nice dark, kind of cool toned brown. And I'm taking this through the crease and mainly on the outer corner only. So I'm really concentrating it down the outer corner and taking it through the crease a little bit below the transitional shade, just to create some depth and definition, and again really winging it out as well. And then I'm just taking the shade Dirty Sweet, I think it is. So it's a really gorgeous light gold eyeshadow, and this is going on the first 2/3 of the eye. And I'm kind of, I wouldn't say it's a really sharp cut crease, but I'm only putting this on the lid and not taking any shimmery shades any higher than this. And then I'm taking the shade Radar, which is a slightly like darker gold, more bronzy, and this is only going on the outer corner. Then I'm just going back in with my blending brush to redefine the crease with the darker brown eyeshadow. Then I'm just taking the shade High, which is the lightest shimmery shade from the palette, and this is just going on the inner corners of my eye and slightly onto that lightest gold shade, just to give it a nice pop. And then just using a makeup wipe to clean up the edges and to create a nice sharp line. Moving on to liner, I've got the Gel Liner by Maybelline in the shade Black, and this is just going all the way across my eye, and I'm creating a wing. And I did have to do this off camera because I had to get super close to my mirror. But I have done a back to basics video on wing liner, so I'll link that down below for you. Moving on to the face, I've got my Kevyn Aucoin Central Skin Enhancer, and I'm just covering up any scars and hyperpigmentation on my face. Again, I have an in-depth tutorial of this too, so I'll leave that down below. They're all from my back to basics series, so I'll link all of that. And then for foundation, I'm taking my absolute favourite, and this is Skin Base foundation by Illamasqua in the shade 12, and I'm stippling this all over my face instead of buffing it in. This is going to give me maximum coverage, and yeah, I love this foundation. Then moving back onto the eyes quickly, I'm taking the shade Whiskey, and I think it's called Black Market, and I'm taking this just on the outer corners for a bit more depth because I felt like it needed it, and then taking it slightly through the crease too. Then back onto the skin again, I'm taking Urban Decay's Naked Skin Concealer and my MAC Prep and Prime Light Boost Highlighter, and this is just to highlight underneath my eyes and brighten up the face. I was actually going out, guys, so this is why like I was kind of doing different steps in different orders, because yeah, I was just kind of making it up as I went along, and yeah, I was getting ready to go out. So I'm just taking the Prep and Prime Light Boost pen on the middle of my forehead, down the bridge of my nose, and just underneath where I would contour, and on my Cupid's bow and on my chin, and that is really going to help the contour that I put on later really pop, and you can see where there is a clear line where I will need to contour. And so I've just blended that out, and then I'm going to set all the highlighted areas with my Ben Nye Banana Powder, and I am applying this quite heavily just because I want it to settle into my skin and really, really set those highlighted areas before brushing it off later. Moving back onto the eyes, I'm taking the shade Saddle that I used earlier for my transitional shade, and this is going all along the lower lash line. And then I'm just going to take Whiskey from the Smoky palette just over the top of that to deepen it up, and then that dark bronzy shade Radar just to soften it too. This can be as smoky as you want on the lower lash line, so it doesn't have to be super close to your waterline. So I'm then just dusting away any excess powder, and I'm moving on to setting my face with my face powder, and this is my MAC Mineralized powder, and I love this stuff. It's my secret to flawless looking skin in person and also on camera. I just love this stuff, and it helps your makeup last a little bit longer, gives you that slight bit extra coverage too. And then I'm taking my Estee Lauder Bronze Goddess, which you guys know how much I love. It's just a perfect bronzer shade for me, so I'm just taking this in the hollows of my cheeks, on my temples, and also on my jawline. And then to contour, I've got a face powder, and this is the Pro Longwear face powder by MAC, and this is in the shade Dark Deepest, which is actually obviously a face setting powder, but I'm using it as a contour shade just because it's got quite a cool undertone, and it doesn't go on really heavy. And as you can see, I'm just really building it up and making sure the darkness is focused on the outer perimeter of my face. And then I'm also taking this on my temples and just around the perimeters of my forehead too, and along my jawline. And I will be contouring my nose, but I feel like this powder is too dark to contour my nose with, because I like my nose contour to look slightly more natural. So I'm using my Sculpt powder by MAC, and this is just going down the sides of my nose, and I'm just brushing it along the tip of it too, to kind of shorten it a little bit as well. To highlight, I'm using my gorgeous Jaclyn Hill and Becca collaboration highlighter, and this is Champagne Pop, and I'm applying this quite heavily to the tops of my cheekbones, on my forehead, down the bridge of my nose. Also, I like to take it on my Cupid's bow and on my chin too, so all the way along the center of my face. And I just love this. I said I'd use this only on special occasions, and it was a special occasion, so yeah, perfect time. Then I'm taking my Rihanna Bad Girl Gone Good blusher, and this is very similar to Gingerly by MAC. I just wanted to use something quite subtle, so if you've got anything similar, just use that. Then I'm taking my new absolute favourite mascara, and this is MAC Upward Lash. This just gives you an instant lift, volume, curl, and separates your lash too, so I absolutely love it. Then for lashes, I've got my Ardell Demi lashes, and I applied these off camera. So then I'm just taking any black eyeliner, and I'm finishing off the eyes by applying that into my waterline. Then finally, moving on to lips, I've got Plum Lip Liner by MAC, which I think is such an underrated lip liner, and not a lot of people know or use it, and I think it's just gorgeous. So I'm just lining my lips with this lip liner. And then I've got Velvet Teddy by MAC, which you guys know is an absolute favourite nude, so I'm just applying this. And then finally going in with Honey Love, which is a really pale nude lipstick, and this is just going on the centre of my lip to kind of give it that ombre look and feel. And here we have the finished look. I really hope you enjoyed watching this video, guys. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up, comment down below, and also my links for my Instagram and Twitter will be down below in the description box too. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye!